But just look at this thing turn. Man, that's quick. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Here it is, the DJI Race Drone, FPV Race Drone. I got this DJI backpack here. Anyway, today's all about the DJI FPV drone. Everything fits great in this backpack. We're gonna boot it up. I went ahead and just have the helipad here since this thing does have return to home, right? Where you can just click a button, or if it loses connection or whatever, it will come back and try to land where it took off. So I think that'll be kind of cool to see what the accuracy is. Now remember, I got 3 batteries. This is the Fly More kit. So this is probably gonna be a long review. So sit back and relax, because this is probably gonna be about an hour while we initially see how it flies in the air, get used to it with the initial controller, and then also try the motion controller too. So we're gonna do all that stuff in this review. So let's get started with DJI FPV. Let's do it. We got this whole front section too. So I got like all the power brick and the main wall charging cable in there. And then if we start doing some maybe manual mode FPV, I got the 2 arm braces just kind of sticking in there if we want to get really crazy with doing some crazy manual FPV, which usually entitles crashing, right? Unzipping this front piece, and we got a whole bunch of extra stuff. So I got all the propellers right here. I got the charging strip right here for all the batteries. If I do wanted to connect my iPad, I have my iPad right there. I've got all my cables in here. I did go ahead and just bring an Allen wrench, since they only give you one really thin one, but you need a thicker one to put on the leg braces. If you do get those extra braces, you do need a different Allen wrench, which they don't include. Goggles, battery, and cable right here. I like to keep my little desiccant packs in the pack just to keep everything, you know, moisture free, because I am in Hawaii here. So this will be like a kind of a real-time setup. It's going to be a little longer than normal because I'm talking and showing you guys everything, but give you an idea of how long it kind of takes this thing to set up if you're maybe just starting and it's your first time, because this actually is my maiden flight after just updating. If you did miss my unboxing video, I will have it pop up here in a card. It's also down in the description down below, so make sure you check that if you just wanted to see how it comes out of the box, all the updating, and really inspecting it super close up. Anyway, we're gonna save the motion controller for a little bit later. We're gonna initially just use the regular controller. So this is really everything I need. And I'm gonna take off the gimbal cover first, throw that in the bag, and there you go. So I got the battery already in here, just need to put the propellers on. And of course the propellers go on to the ones with no red circle in the middle, go on to the black motors with no red on the motors. So I got 2 of these, real easy. DJI's infamous twist lock propellers, super easy. You can't really screw these up, as long as when you do twist them on and they pop back up, just double check them so they don't fly off, right? So putting these buggers on. Sorry about the overcast today. It's usually really sunny here in Hawaii, but today it is a Sunday, and man, that sun just didn't want to come out today. But who knows, maybe it'll rain on it, maybe it'll get sunny. Okay, so the drone basically is ready to go. Now I just need to quickly set up the controller. So we're putting on the sticks. Now remember, these sticks are a little smaller than usual, so these ones are going to be possibly easy to get lost, so be careful putting these on. Sticks on, flip the antenna up, and this thing's also ready to power on and ready to go. The initial flight, I'm just going to be kind of showing you how the thing performs without putting my goggles on, so I'm going to go through that just a little bit later. So we're going to save that for the second battery, I believe. Make sure your battery's in there good. Remember, it clips in just like that. Tug on it, make sure it's not going to fly out. Plug in your power here, and then all we got to do is turn this thing on. So just a really quick click and hold, powers it up. Pretty cool, yeah, how that thing turns on. The camera goes up and down, does this interesting vibration. And let's see if I have to relink this controller. after I had that motion controller on. Remember, this initial flight is just going to be like line of sight, really getting close up and seeing how this thing performs. Great, so the controller did link up, so I don't have to relink them, I guess. They just both can't link up at the same time, but if you initially link one or the other, they'll always relink if they're powered on individually. All right, so here we go. With the controller, you want to do both sticks down and in. And then once this thing powers up, you can see the propellers are powered on. I think in my unboxing, I kind of showed it going and it wouldn't even turn off. So it's kind of like you have to just pull the throttle down. So maybe a little safety issue for beginners. Motors aren't turning off. I'm just going to push up just like you would like a normal drone. And did you see those green lights? They flashed really quick. So that kind of means that I was in sport mode when I took off. Let me go into normal mode. So switching into normal. So basically normal enables the front obstacle, not really avoidance, but it slows down at obstacles. S is sport, and then M is manual mode. So we're just going to go between normal and sport for this view right here. But you can see how it's just like a GPS DJI drone, super stable. The sensors on the bottom here, you know, they're looking at the ground. You see how it goes up as I'm putting my hand up? I'm not even touching the controller. Let's bring it back down here real quick. So remember, normal mode is like beginner, right? So leave it in the N mode if you want that. And let's just do like a full yaw to the left. And you can kind of see how that thing's spinning. Cool. So we've got the gimbal right here. You see that? So I can move the camera up and down if I want to. And then any position you put it, if I press forward or back, you see how that camera is being stabilized? It's kind of going up and down and keeping its level while the drone fluctuates up and down. I'm not going to do that for side, so you're going to get that in the video, the side to side. But this is electronically stabilized video, so kind of cool. So that was our yaw speed and normal, not too quick, nice and slow. And you can just see how it's locking in solid. I got about 5 mph coming from my back right now. So let's do a punch up and just see how quick it is after I kind of pull down. Let's see what it's doing with the sensors as I pull down. You see how it gets about a foot off the ground? And it's not going to land unless I hold it. Well, that's pretty cool. So let's punch up. Full speed. Yeah, it's pretty quick, but it's going to be faster in sport mode, you know that. So pulling down all the way. Sorry about the overcast, guys. And same kind of thing. It like gets to like 10 feet as other DJI drones, and then those sensors come into play and slow it down a little bit. So kind of neat. And then of course you can't go all the way down immediately until let's try to hold it and see if we can cancel that landing. So holding it down, pushing up right away to cancel, and yeah, it does. So did you see that? It went into its landing sequence and I just pushed up to cancel. So that would be really cool for like flying super low to the ground. See that? Because it has those bottom sensors. Let's just see how it's kind of doing. Make sure there's nobody around me here. Wow, yeah, it feels really smooth. Just taking it nice and slow. So you can get these kind of cool like ground shots. And it's not going to hit the ground, it doesn't look like. It almost looked like the propeller was going to hit the ground when I was cornering hard. But you see how it kind of stabilizes itself with those sensors? Pretty awesome. Let's see if it'll hit this chair. If I kind of come back here and kind of run into it. Let me get over by the chair here. It should just slow down. I don't think it stops. Let's say we're booking it as fast as this normal mode can go. Yeah, it already saw the chair. Look at that, I'm pushing forward and it slowed way down. It gets right up next to it, but at least it slows down. So it looks like the obstacle avoidance is working great on the front. Or I want to call it obstacle slow. Let's try that again so I can line it up. I'm going to go right into here. right into the chair. Boom. Full stick forward. Yeah. Ooh. And there it goes. It hit the chair. So there you go. That's what you can expect. It's going to slow, but man, I didn't pull up quite fast enough or pull back. And that hit the chair. No damage to the chair. Looking at the propellers of the drone. See how that camera's working? Kind of cool, huh? How it goes up and down. That's like the maximum. Whoa, it can go all the way down. Can't go all the way up, maybe like 45 degrees. As you can see though, the propellers did turn off. That's great. Checking all the wingtips. No kinks and no damage whatsoever. So as soon as it like hits something, I guess hard enough and it creates enough resistance, it's just gonna turn off. That's awesome. Okay, let's launch again. So remember, both sticks in again. And no problem powering right back up. Lifting off. Just pushing up. And blinking lights again, took its GPS point. Cool, man. So we know kind of how fast this thing can go. It's not super quick in normal mode. You know, this is mainly for beginners or maybe getting cinematic. When you turn, it slows down a little. So you can get that kind of cinematic, but really easy to control and smooth. Letting off. You can see it just took about 5 feet to stop. Remember, this is 6S high-powered voltage. Let's switch this thing down to sport mode. So sport mode takes off the front obstacle avoidance. So no more front obstacle avoidance. See that? It's not going to stop for me. I don't want to cut my hands off. So let's see how fast this thing goes now. I want to do a punch up again. Come on back, right above the landing pad. And let's punch up. Oh yeah. It's way faster, but did you hear that limitation on the throttle? Pulling down, holding down still. And even in sport mode, those bottom sensors are working great though. And I don't think it wants to land same way. Yeah, it's not going to go more than like a foot down unless you hold it. So that's great. But look how much power that has. Isn't that awesome? Goes up real quick, but it's going slower down. It's not going to be, because it can see the ground, right? So listen to that again when I punch it up. Listen to the high throttle, and then it maxes out at a certain speed. Listen to this. Did you hear that? Maybe at about like 20 feet. And it's not even going any higher. I think what it is, it knows it's in full stick down again. And so this is going to be really hard to crash. So it's like it knows it's in controller only mode. There might be a geofence on out of the box. So when I get the goggles on, we'll figure all that out. But here it is. So you can see how much quicker. And remember, this has a spring-loaded throttle. So it's just going to stay like a regular camera GPS drone. Unless you open this up, take out the throttle spring, loosen the throttle spring. And that's mainly for manual flight. If you're using it in S or normal mode, you want it to be in with this throttle spring. So you can have all that safety hovering features and everything. Anyway, that's the yaw speed, a little faster. You see that? Then with it, a little faster than with it being in normal mode. Almost twice as fast. So let's fly around a little bit. Wow, it corners quick though. Look at this. Nice. So it's really quick in punching and turning and stopping in sport. So man, so don't go into this until you're really comfortable with the normal mode, okay? Again, no obstacle sensor in the front. But just look how that thing's hovering. This one is kind of loud. It's like a race drone loud, kind of whiny, you know? So it's gonna draw some attention, that's for sure. Look at that thing. looking great. All the lights are, you can kind of see them good because it's kind of overcast. But just look at this thing turn. Man, that's quick. Let's do a kind of full throttle forward in sport and then a stop, okay? Just a short little run. I'm gonna stop it like when it's right here. We'll see how long it takes to stop. So full forward, letting off. That's gonna take a little longer. And guess what, guys? I'm getting some red beeping on the lights. So good initial test. I'm gonna fly it out here just a bit and we're gonna do a return to home, okay? It doesn't even want to go further than that. I'm pushing full stick forward. So it is in some kind of geo fence since there's no goggles, which is good because you can't really see it much farther than that. So I'm gonna hit the return to home. You just hold this in, the left stick there, and it's gonna fly back. Let's see how accurate it is at landing on that H, even though it's a little low power. Let's just see what happens, you know? Kind of cool to have a super quick race drone and a GPS return to home drone at the same time when you need it. So you can go exploring, like, you know, through valleys and stuff, and even if it loses connection, it will come back. Even if it drops connection, not only pushing the return to home. So it apparently looks like it's not using the bottom sensors for you know, precision landing like some of the other DJI drones. So I'm getting, that's 2 feet, about maybe a little less, maybe 1.5 feet, about 2 feet I would say, to the landing pad. So just keep that in mind. It's going to land within a few feet, and they say that in the directions too, in the instructions for this guy. You can hear that fan going on. Let me get that close to the mic. You hear that? So there's a fan right here on top, and it's just sucking the air through to keep it cool, because as you could hear, this thing is really pumping out some amps to those motors when needed. Battery is blinking at 1 light here, so that means we're low. Can't see your percentages right now because we don't have the goggles on. Oh, I kind of am seeing a little bit of damage from that chair I didn't even see before. You see that? So these little guys, just the tips just slightly bent up, but nothing broke. I can bend these back down. So that was probably creating some drag on the battery too. This one bent up just a little bit, and that's it. That was all the damage for that flight. Anyway, let's get these goggles booted up and see what we can do with the goggles, and then we'll throw on that motion control and really have some fun. All right guys, so back at the bag, I just wanted to show you the whole process of just switching out a battery. I'm gonna put that in another pocket, grab a brand new battery. This is the first charge on all of these, so just double check in. You can do a quick check. Putting a new battery in, clicking it in, plugging it in. I hit this chair right here. The propeller bent down and it like marked the arm just with some red paint off of the propeller, and I think that's what bent the wing tips up a little bit, is just by hitting its own arm, kind of bent these up just a tad, you know what I mean? So I do have an extra set. It comes with an extra set, but definitely, man, get some more propellers, right? Because you will be hitting things, even this one, a little bit of paint rubbed off on that arm and this arm, the two rights. And we want to pop in these goggles. We'll power them up and get going. So the way we do this is they come with this little power cable, and this is just like a 9-volt battery that comes with. You can press it and you can check your power, and then same thing like you power on all the other stuff, press and hold until you see all the lights come up and that power is on that battery. Not sure if that'll turn off automatically if it senses nothing's going on, but as soon as you plug this in and turn that on, you can hear the fan goggles kick on. You can hear that in the mic. So the goggles are on, so I'm getting recording hopefully on the goggles and on the drone. So hey, where are you? There you are. By the way, thanks for tuning in. If this is the first time you're seeing video, I couldn't even tell if it was recording when I was just flying line of sight. What we'll do here is we'll start in normal mode. I have normal switch on the switch, and I can see on the bottom left of my screen, you guys won't be able to see this, but it does say N mode. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off before we stop burning too much battery power. You can see that the motors do spin up there in the front. So I'm not sure if you guys can see them in the view, but I can in my goggles. So home point updated. Cool. Remember that switch on the right? Now I'm clicking it, that three-way, and I'm getting these quick camera views. And then on the left roller, I can roll down just nice and easy, you know what I mean? So if you forget where like your mid camera is, you can always just click this button here, up and down, and it'll take you right to the center. So let's fly around just pushing forward. Again, got my goggles on, and I'll have both screens up so you guys can see what my goggles are seeing and also what I'm seeing in the video. So remember, normal mode kind of has that, oh cool, there's an H on the screen too. So it knows where its home is. I forgot about that. This does have, so I'm full stick forward now. I'm just cruising around. I don't want to get too low because I don't want to, run into any people. Let's go out a ways, get above these power lines. I don't want to go over any people or houses here, especially with this one. This thing is, it seems like it weighs almost 2 pounds. There, I just let off. And I will have that video up so you guys can see what's going on. And now since I have the goggles connected, oh, look at those jacarandas down there. So let's try this button. So the right clicker, see that nice jacaranda? And I'm just pushing forward again. So you can see that kind of roll in the screen. So that's for me kind of rolling the craft left and right with the right stick. And also with the left stick while I'm going forward, I'm moving it left and right. So it just kind of flies like an airplane, sort of in this mode. Let off the sticks and just completely stop. That's the way the camera's working. I'm going to pull the camera back up to horizontal position, hit forward again, and let me tell you how fast I'm going. 20, 30, wow. Going faster than I thought it would. $30. 30 miles per hour. So basically you can get 30 with normal mode. Going 32 now with some wind, I guess. Letting off. And you can see how fast that slowed down and stopped. It says height 40 feet. And it tells you the distance in the goggles is 85 feet. I can move the camera around how I want. And once you get the camera to your position, see that? And then you move forward or back, the camera just stays in that position. So a really good, at least pitch, stabilization. Now the side to side, let's see how it is. I'm moving the roll like real fast left and right. So you guys will see that in the video in my goggles, and also hopefully the drone is also recording. When you go out of ways, I'm going to switch into sport mode. So gimbal pitch access endpoint reached. When I stop, there's a little message. So just kind of maxed out. I can see on the bottom right how many minutes I have left to fly. My battery power is 69. You guys won't be able to see this. It says 11 minutes left to fly. RC signals max, HD signals max, 24 satellites, and 93% in the goggles. And on the top right it says I've been recording for 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Switching into sport as we're flying. Boom. Sport mode, obstacle avoidance is off. You'll be able to hear this coming up. Whoa, so I just let right off, and did you see that? It like rocked a little left to right. So kind of strange. Maybe they can work on a few things, but you know, you're gonna have that kind of problems with a race drone if you're just... There we go, let's fly back out this way. 55, 50, 60 miles per hour, screaming, 61. Cool. So you'll be able to kind of see the side to side, guys. Oh, it just stopped on its own. Max flight distance reached. Okay, 1,620 feet, FYI, guys. If you probably don't mess with any of the settings. I'm gonna kind of get over just this area right here. I got 56% power remaining. And what I want to do is I want to go into my goggle menu. I'm just hitting the top of my goggles here. Let me spin this around so you guys can see a nice view of West Maui Mountains. You can see it's fighting a little wind to the left. You see how it's tilting to the left a little? There's a little wind coming from that front left. Let's see, settings, safety, altitude. Okay, it's 1640. That's the max you can go. It doesn't let you turn that off. Flight distance, I'm gonna hit no limit. There we go. Okay, so it was at a limit by default, but there is a no limit option. And return to home altitude is at 328 feet, and you can adjust that between 66 and 1640. Boy. So I guess I'll just leave it at, well, I want to bring it down. 328 is a bit high, so I'm going to go to 131. There's just options. You can't like punch in anything. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to go back, and now our distance shouldn't be limited. I'm still in S mode. I see on the bottom left of my goggles. I'm not going to go over these houses, and I'm going to go straight out a bit more. See if we can get up to 60. Yep, going 60 still. HD just dropped to 3 bars. This isn't really a range test, but I just wanted to check it out. Yeah, now I can go way further. So, you know, if you want to do some exploring, take that range limit off. Again, not going over any houses here. And let me just do a slow roll on the gimbal down. Nice. So while you're exploring, easily pitching the gimbal. I'm going way the heck out here. And as you turn, you can see where a big H on the screen where your home is. That's awesome. I love that. Coming in. Don't want to hit the power lines, but I just want to come in and do a flyby. Hey guys. Whoa, did you hear that? Don't go over the houses. Gimbal pitch maxed out issue again. Pretty amazing. Let's get up a little higher so we're not... This thing's noisy, as you can hear. You're going really fast. So you see these valleys here? Man, this is going to be fun to like maybe explore some of these valleys, right? Look at this. 25% power. Low battery, R2H in 1 second. Okay. Check that out. It stopped. It knows. It centered its camera. It knows. So this does also have a low battery RTH. So awesome. So you have all this ability. Let's see if, yeah, we can move our camera up and down. Let's see if I do try to turn the drone. Nope. I can't do any rolling or yawing, but I can pitch the camera up and down. Let me try that notching pitch. Yep. See that? Oh, I can see the arms in my goggle a little bit. I guess we'll see if you can see that in the HD video as well. So this battery's at 19%, guys. It's been recording for 10 minutes. And there's my spot. So I have the gimbal pitched all the way down. You can go a little bit more than if you just do this. I'm just clicking this notching button on the right, the 3-way. But look at this. Even though that's maxed out on the bottom with that button, it's going to start landing now. See that? I just pulled it down a little more. So nice. So it's going to return to home. And let's see how close. I can't see directly below me, so FYI. See, I can't see my landing pad. But I can tell you right now, I'm just looking up at it. I'm turning. See, the landing pad's over there. I'll have that up in the video. I just pulled the camera up myself. And I can tell you right now that that landing pad is 1, 2, about 4 feet away. So it seems like maybe the harder you fly it around, the farther you go, you're gonna have less accurate landing. Here's where you can see where it landed. So technically 1, 2, technically about 5 feet away for that flight. Remember the first line of sight flight around the park? A lot closer, maybe 2 feet, this time 5 feet. So it gives you a little indication of how off this thing's gonna be, but yeah, that thing, it does sound like a race drone when it's in the air. Blinking yellow because the controller is now disconnected. So power this down and let's put on this motion controller. Put in another battery. Again, guys, I just like to show really how it is in real time doing things. So there's the 2 spent batteries. Of course, these are awesome because they have little battery checkers. You don't have to guess how much your batteries charge or get like another little charge indicator. So there we go, new battery in there. This is the motion controller. I did link it in my house, so remember, if you guys caught that unboxing, you'll see how to do all that. Basically, it's just hold the power in when this thing's on and it starts blinking fast on the battery, and do the same thing with this. When this thing's on, hold the power in, it syncs the 2 up. So let's just do normal power up. This thing comes with a lanyard if you think you're going to be flying it around so you don't drop it. And it linked right up, so awesome. No need to do anything else. That's great that you don't have to go through that whole linking process over and over again when you're switching between the 2 controllers. Okay guys, so you should be able to hear me and see me in the drone camera. And for this one, I'm just going to stand up. So I'm going to put this battery in my pocket with my keys here. Put this guy on. And let's try to fly with this motion controller, okay? So double press the lock button to start. So on the top, that red button, I'm gonna double click it. There we go. The propellers are now spinning. You can probably hear that. And I wanna push it again, hold it down to launch. So here we go, holding down that red button. And it's just going right up. Oh, cool. So I'm hearing beeping in my goggles, I guess that is, because it's detecting something's in front of it. Yeah, so it's showing me in my goggles, I have like orange at the top to be cautious. And even on the bottom of the goggle screen, I'm seeing 4 feet. So there's something in 4 feet in front of it. So watch this, as I push the controller down and up, let me get where you can see this. This is kind of strange, but I just wanted to show you this. So you can see me in the picture. And if I just push down, like twist it down and up, look at that camera going. Cool, huh? And this is normal mode. I can go through the modes just by pushing the button over here, the M button. Okay. And then as I kind of tilt my controller left to right, you see how it's turning? Or I can go like this too. I can just move my whole body left to right and keep the controller facing up. So I have those 2 options. That's cool how I'm hearing beeping in the controller. So as I pull the trigger, I'm pulling it slowly. See that? And it's just flying here. You can see the controller a little better now. I know this is kind of weird, but it's really beeping at me and telling me there's an obstacle. And you can kind of see how I'm moving the controller up and down. So kind of awesome. You can't back up, you can't roll left to right. It's just gonna turn the head and you can just go forward, okay? So be very careful flying next to people. So I'm gonna start flying. I'm just pulling the trigger harder and harder. And I'm seeing my home button show up on the left. So I can rotate my whole body around. I just like twisted my whole body around. Or all I gotta do is, remember, tilt my hand left and right. I can just be facing forward and do that. So this thing's gonna fly wherever I kind of point this thing up or down. Don't want to go over any houses, remember? Pulling the trigger hard. Oh, this is so neat. It's like a whole nother experience. I want to watch out for power lines because there's a jacaranda down there. See, if I go down, it will fly down to it. And it almost seems like it lost range right there. That was interesting. Let's see if we can change the range. Let me go up. Woo! You hear that thing screaming? Oh, wow. So I just pointed up at the sky and went up. Let me just go into the goggles real quick while I got you guys here. Go into settings, safety. Yeah, flight distance, low, no limit. So it's still saved the same settings as the regular controller. So I have a white dot. I should tell you, I have a white dot in the screen, like a white circle. And I'm just pointing that circle wherever I want to look at. And then if I pull the trigger, watch this. It'll just come right down at me. A little bit squirrely there. Letting off full blast. Woo, did you hear that? So a radical experience, man. This is really neat. But so I wouldn't recommend maybe really close proximity. Let's go a little close to these trees here. Kind of neat. I'm just in normal mode, remember? And yeah, there's jacaranda gonna go up. Oh, neat. This is so intuitive. You can just get these cool, like cinematic kind of flying shots. You just got to be careful. There's some cactus here. So don't want to hit the trees, right? But let's just, oh, it detected them. I saw on my goggles. Let's see if it detects this. Yeah, it started to slow down, but it let me go past them. Oh, that's so cool. Turning slowly, letting off the trigger a little bit to go slower. I'm just gonna kind of do this surrounding flight around me. This is really neat, guys. I'm gonna switch into sport. Okay, so letting off and just hovering. You can also do, there's this button here. Let me face me here. Let's see if that works and get closer. I don't know if you'll be able to, I don't have another camera on me, but there we go. Let's go closer. There's a button over here on the top. It's that big gray button. If I press it, see how nothing's happening. It just goes pause. Say you want to pass the controller or you want to do something, right? And you don't want this thing to fly. You're good to go. And then if we press pause again, it gives me control back. Pretty cool, huh? So still recording. Awesome. And you know what? Let's try to take a picture real quick. Let me go up, pointing up at the sky. I don't want to go over these people's house, so let's go over here. I'm going to go into sport in just a second, okay, guys? But I just wanted to try some pictures. So the bottom left, I'm going to stop recording. Bottom left of the controller. Oh, there's also a tilt for the camera, but it's not going to really work because I'm in this mode right now. Go up a little higher. Woo, that's like maximum height. Speed if you just point right up at the sky and then just pull the trigger fully. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna press record real quick. It's gonna stop recording both goggles and the device. Click on that button again on my left. It starts recording, but I actually wanted to take a picture, sorry. So this little red button by my thumb, I'm going to click and hold. Changes it to photos. Don't think I took any photos yet. Let's try it out. Photo of West Maui. I hear beeping in my goggles. Let's point down this way. photo of that field. And then West Maui again. But you see how the horizon's going to be off because it's fighting the wind. So keep that in mind. If you try to tilt, it's just going to turn the drone. Let's try another one, West Maui picture. And then let me go over here. I'm just rocking my hand to the left. And let's do like a pulley shot over here on Maui. Boom. See how good those pictures, I'll have them popping up. Holding down that record button, you're gonna hear 2 beeps. It goes back into video recording. Pressing it once, goes back into and starts recording. Awesome. So here we go. So I got this mode button 2 on just below that red button on the controller, like I was showing you guys. And let's turn this way. And I'll press mode. Now I'm in sport mode, so no obstacle avoidance. Let's see how this thing is. Maybe we'll go down in this valley a little bit. I'm full trigger right now. Oh, neat. Wow. Full trigger, 62 miles per hour. I will have this recording. Let's try to go in this valley. What do you think? Don't crash. Woo! Oh, this is cool. Oh, video pixelated a little bit. But look at this, man. I'm just like moving my hand around and flying right over this valley. This is so cool. Watch as I kind of go in the valley. Oh, totally shut off. It pauses itself on its own. I'm moving the controller around and nothing's happening. See that? Take off, pause. Oh, it went into low battery RTH. Okay. Good to know. And it's still recording, is it? Oh, it stopped Goggle recording. It does the same thing as the version 1, man. That sucks. So right now it's doing, I can't move the camera around at all. But I can press the brake button to cancel RTH if I wanted to. But I want to get the Goggle recording back. So I'm going to stop the drone recording and then restart. There we go. So it does that same stupid thing where, gosh, why is it going up so high? Holy smokes. Jeez. It went up. Oh, it thinks it's only 65 feet. Oh yeah, because it tapers down. Sorry. So moving the controller around, I can't do anything. It's on its way back. But what I was saying, it does that same stupid thing that version 1 does, where once you go out of range of the goggles, it stops Goggle recording, but it keeps recording on the drone. When it gets back into range, it doesn't start the Goggle recording. Why can't they fix that? That's kind of lame to me, you know what I mean? So if I wanted to stop this return to home, I'm going to press that big gray button on the front. There you go. And it just canceled. And now I can kind of fly like normal. I'm going to fly kind of towards us. Let's go down here. There's a construction site right here. Okay, I'm flying super quick. Oh, this is awesome though, man. I got a little H over there. I know where my home is. I can just fly right towards it. It's almost like you're flying an airplane. Woo! Wow, it detected that, but of course it's not going to stop. Oh, neat. Okay. Well, let's come on back. Takes a while to get used to this, but it is super cool. So you guys keep an eye on that video the whole time I was flying, so you can see what's up. I'm gonna go into normal mode. I'm just hitting that gray small button on the top. Back into normal. So there's not gonna be any manual for this. I hear kids around. I just wanna make sure they're not next to me. And look at this. So it's using those sensors, right, to keep itself off the ground. Let's see if it hits the ground. Full trigger. Whoa, you can get some neat low shots. Oh, okay, now it's demanding I return to home. So it just cut me out of control and it's gonna fly back. So apparently if it's close to you, it's not going to go to your RTH height. Boy, don't hit me. Auto RTH interrupted by obstacle. So it just stopped and gave me control back, okay? Go around myself. Let's see if it keeps trying to do an auto RTH. This is so cool. Look how low you can go. See what happens here. Ooh, it's at 10%. Okay, good low battery. A good low battery voltage check here. Is there a net in here? I don't see one. Let's try to fly through it. Woo! Oh, that's so easy. Just moving your controller around. Battery output insufficient. What's it gonna do? Okay, so if you're at a park, make sure there's a guy walking over there. Don't want to hit him. 6%. Whoa. Okay, battery too low landing. You see that? It just jerked itself around. I'm gonna go ahead and get back to my home point here. I'm just controlling it still. Yeah, you can still push forward and it stops it from going down until you let off the throttle. Let me show you that. So I'm pushing the trigger, letting off, and then it's gonna land. Woo, 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 woo. That's so cool. Make sure under and press and hold the lock button to land. Okay, so there's a red button right here on the controller. I'm gonna press and hold it. Super easy, man. Guess what, guys? 0% power. We need a 0%, and it's still recording. So super cool, man. That motion control is just so fun. I think it's even more fun than the regular controller. So anyway, that's battery number 3. Let's go ahead and do a sit down, do a pros and cons with this thing, and I'll tell you what I think. That was just super fun. So we really exhausted that battery. I'll go ahead and have the flight times for all 3 flights pop up on the screen at the end of each flight. Keep in mind, the harder you push this thing, you're gonna suck that battery down way faster. It is gonna get a little bit of lift and kind of gliding ability when you're moving with these, like I was saying, these teardrop arms that kind of give it a little bit of lift. But this thing is heavy, remember. This is not meant to soar. It's, gosh, it does honestly feels like 2 pounds. So we went through these 3 batteries, and I gotta say, man, this is gonna be like the pros and cons. I had such a more fun time flying with this motion controller than I did originally, and I've been flying with a regular drone controller. I mean, if you're gonna do like manual mode, we didn't get into manual mode on this flight, so probably gonna do another review of just the manual mode. I'm not the best manual mode flyer, and it's kind of hard for a lot of people to fly manual, and it takes a lot of practice to get it right. Again, if you did want to go into manual, they give you that Allen wrench in the box. You just pop this open, loosen these 2 F1 and F2 screws, and it will take out your throttle spring so you can fly that full manual mode. When you buy this thing, you're gonna have to get it with this controller, but I think this is like $100 if I'm not mistaken, 100 or 150 or something. This thing is just so neat to fly around with. I honestly think I'm gonna be flying with this and just enjoying the flight a lot better. You could see me going through those valleys, remember, down, not way down inside of it, because when that happened, since it was at distance, you can see that the FPV, hopefully the goggles got a little bit jittery, and you can see that breakup in the goggles, how that was happening. And that's gonna happen when you're going at distance and you got earth between you and the drone, because I was going down into the valley. You know, if you're behind a few trees and stuff and buildings, you're gonna get a little bit of breakup, but not as bad as if you go into the earth. So, but I can't say enough how fun that is with the motion controller. You're really gonna need to experience it yourself. Hopefully my experience kind of shared that with you, so you kind of know how it's gonna be. The goggle battery, remember, we only used it for 2 flights, and it only has one LED gone. This is definitely going to last you the 3 batteries if you get the Fly More kit with the 3 batteries. The goggle's pretty cool, but man, a con, they still haven't fixed that problem where you drop connection, it stops recording your goggles and it keeps recording the drone even when you get back into connection. So they really got to work on like the programming to make sure that this will just auto start recording again when it comes back in connection, because that's a real hassle to have to stop recording the whole thing, both the drone and the goggles, and then re-record, and then you can have both recording again. So kind of a lame feature that they haven't fixed yet, or a problem that they haven't fixed yet. Didn't do any range testing this time. It kind of felt like this one's not going to give you as much range. Of course, you have a flip up antenna on this controller. No problems way the heck out there. But when I think it was one time when I started to turn at a distance out there, I had like one glitch where it seemed like it lost connection for a second. So I would say that this one is going to get you way less range than this guy with its big antenna on here. And we're going to do those range tests in the videos to come. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the series on all this stuff. We're doing range tests. I'm going to do more cinematic videos. I live in Hawaii on Maui, so I'm going to get some beach videos, cliff cruising. And I really want to test it with this because, man, that is just going to be so fun cruising through the cliffs in the ocean. It is noisy. It is a high-powered 6S drone, so you're going to have that noise issue. If you're around people, it might be kind of annoying. That front obstacle avoidance did work pretty well. In normal mode, that's when it will slow down. In sport mode and manual, it will show you the obstacles on the screen. Like it'll have like flashing and a distance bar, but it will not avoid them in sport and manual, so you got to keep track of that. When I was getting close to some of these trees coming back, those jacarandas were just beautiful, those purple leaf trees. When I was coming kind of close to the tree in sport mode, I did see flashing and I heard beeping, so at least it tells you you're getting close to some stuff. Didn't put on those arm braces, didn't really need to for this flight, but you could see how easy. I mean, the most proximity I really did was flying over the treetops a little and then coming under this non-net goalpost, and that was super simple, man, with the motion controller. Even though it was in normal mode, you know, it detected some of the stuff, glitched for a second because it was getting close. But if you went into sport mode and did that, it would just go right through. And so we're going to get more into that in one of the other videos too. We're going to try more close proximity, even with the motion controller. I can see how that's going to be really fun as well. For kind of a new experience, guys, like more high speed cruising experience, especially with the motion controller. I know I keep saying that, but it's just, you gotta do it. It's super fun, and I had a good time with this initial review. Sorry it's a little bit overcast, not the best views today, but I think we really did kind of put it through its initial paces with all the controllers, all the batteries. We got to see video, I took some pictures, and you kind of got the gist of how this whole thing works. So again, we'll get into it in videos to come, and don't forget, all the stuff I review is always down in the description down below, so check those links, support my channel. And also I'll have the card pop up too for the series on the DJI FPV drone. Super fun, different, but I can see how I'm gonna have a lot more fun with this in the videos to come. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next one. Hey, we got a visitor today. Hey, doggy. Hi. Got a little visitor.
You have something for him.
Oh, I got plastic. I don't have any treats. You guys still here? Well, why not see how this thing is to break down? Let's see how fast this is. If you're kind of in a rush, or if you're not, I'm just going to do it as fast as I can. So gimbal cover, always protect that camera. I'm just going to leave the memory card in here. I'm going to leave this battery in, and just undoing the propellers. See how fast these things come off. 1, 2, 3. Even in the crash, remember it crashed into this chair, they didn't pop off, so that's awesome. And really minimal little lip damage to the propeller that I just bent back. Anyway, the drone goes right here. This is where I'm putting this thing in the front top. extra case right there. And then I've got the goggles. Unplug this. Again, there's an SD card in there I'm going to take out when I get home. That's what you guys will be watching this footage from. Actually, I want to go this way. There we go. So goggles nicely in there. And by the way, remember this is the DJI FPV bag. If you guys want to get one of these, it seems perfect for this drone. That's going to go in the front pocket. This guy just goes like this. This goes over it, so you can have two controllers. I'm going to go ahead and take off these sticks because they seem to kind of get jammed up in this bag. And they do give you an extra set of these sticks if you just so happen to lose one in the grass or something. That fits there perfectly. Two other batteries. Boom, boom. Easy in there. And now all we got to do is put our propellers and stuff in the front. So this is the main cavity here of the backpack. Flipping it up, and where is it? There it is. This front thing kind of goes down and then doesn't really zip all the way down. It just kind of folds over. I have the propellers in here. I know I had two sets, but I'm not sure where my other set's. Probably somewhere in this bag. Just forgot where I put it. So set of propellers in there. Of course, you could just throw them in the main bag if you wanted to, like that. And then I got my little Allen wrench in this pocket with the FPV goggle battery and my other Allen wrench set in case I want to put on those extra strong arm braces for when I try in manual mode. And that's it. Look at that. Zip it back up. That's it. Ready to go. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.